There's a moment when opening your banking app stops feeling like checking the damage and starts feeling like checking your progress. Most people think this shift requires $100,000 or hitting six figures. They're wrong. There's a much smaller threshold that rewires your entire relationship with money. Cross this line and your brain literally processes financial decisions differently. That threshold is $20,000. My name is Ivan, and I help people understand the psychology and mechanics behind building real wealth. If you're tired of wondering why your bank account never seems to grow despite making decent money, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button if this video helps you figure out where you have been going wrong. Think about benchmarks in any area of life. Running a 10-minute mile versus an 8-minute mile, getting 80% on a test versus 60%. These thresholds unlock different opportunities. Money works identically. Certain dollar amounts act as gates that swing open entirely new possibilities. $20,000 is the first gate that separates wealth builders from people stuck in financial quicksand. Here's what happens neurologically when you have zero savings. Your brain runs in constant threat detection mode. Psychologists call this survival mode. Every money choice gets filtered through panic and scarcity. You grab the first job offer because waiting feels impossible. You endure toxic situations because exit feels too risky. You accept work you hate because saying no to income seems insane. This goes deeper than being cautious. In survival mode, your brain cannot process opportunity. Its operating system is stuck on threat mitigation. You can't think about growth when you're frantically plugging leaks. Cross that $20,000 line and your mental operating system upgrades. Instead of how do I make it to Friday, you ask how do I multiply this? Instead of pure reaction, you shift to strategy. Vanguard research found that $2,000 in emergency savings boosts financial well-being by 21%. $2,000, less than a budget laptop. That tiny cushion creates massive mental relief by pulling you out of pure panic mode. Push that buffer to 3 to 6 months of expenses, around $20,000 for most people, and you gain another 13% in well-being. More critically, you've created mental space to think about building wealth instead of just preventing disaster. Now the math gets interesting. Save $1,000 per month at 8% returns, and reaching $20,000 takes 19 months, a year and a half of discipline. Most people quit. But watch what happens next. Your second $20,000 takes only 17 months. Same effort, same monthly amount, same risk level, but 2 months faster because your first $20,000 is now generating returns alongside your contributions. That's compounding starting to work. By your third $20,000, the timeline shrinks further. Your money handles more of the work while your effort stays constant. At $400,000 in your portfolio, you generate $20,000 in 5 months. What took nearly 2 years initially now happens passively. You might assume wealthy people access exclusive investment opportunities unavailable to regular investors. At extreme wealth levels, this holds some truth, but it's not driving the $20,000 phenomenon. The actual secret is simpler and more encouraging. Basic mathematics favoring larger amounts. $1,000 growing 10% yields $100. $10,000 at 10% yields $1,000. Identical investment, identical time frame, identical risk. Only difference is scale. This explains why $20,000 feels transformative. Below this point, investment returns feel trivial. 10% on $2,000 is $200. Nice, but meaningless. 10% on $20,000 is $2,000. Now it matters. $20,000 earning 8% annually generates $1,600 passively. Money you didn't work for. Money that appeared because existing money labored on your behalf. The strategy isn't more sophisticated than what someone with 1,000 uses. Same index funds, same brokerages, same principles. Only scale differs, and scale converts small percentage gains into genuine financial momentum. Here's what most people miss entirely. Saving $20,000 accomplishes something more valuable than accumulating dollars. You've rewired neural pathways and built the single most critical financial habit. Consider what reaching $20,000 from zero actually requires. Unless you earn absurd money, this demands real discipline. Tracking every dollar, refusing purchases you wanted, resisting impulse spending, maintaining this consistency for months or years. You demonstrated you control money rather than money controlling you. You became someone capable of delayed gratification when stakes are high. This transcends financial skill. This is life skill. This identity transformation affects every future money decision. Before $20,000, that $4 coffee required mental negotiation. After $20,000, you stop sweating trivial amounts because you've proven you handle major sacrifices. Another shift happens here. You perceive opportunities instead of only threats. Living paycheck to paycheck means unexpected expenses equal disasters. Car repair, dead laptop, rent increase. These aren't opportunities. They're emergencies wrecking your entire month. With $20,000, these identical events become minor frustrations. Car repair. Irritating but manageable. Dead laptop, upgrade time, rent increase, time to negotiate salary or relocate. Better yet, you notice opportunities invisible before. Friend, launching a business seeking investors. Previously, you'd think interesting and forget it. Now you can evaluate throwing $5,000 at it. Rental property deal requiring work appears. Previously, you'd scroll past enviously. Now you calculate if numbers work. Boss mentions a career-boosting conference company won't fund. Previously, you'd make excuses. Now you assess return on investment. This is what money goes to money actually means. Not cosmic conspiracy rewarding existing wealth. Having capital creates options, and options generate more money-making opportunities. Something counterintuitive emerges around $20,000. You care less about tiny expenses and more about massive ones. Sounds backwards. When broke, you obsess over everything. Name brand or generic cereal. $3 coffee or home brew. Premium or regular gas. These micro decisions devour mental energy because every dollar screams precious. With solid foundation, you realize these choices barely matter. $3 daily coffee versus home brewing costs, maybe $1,000 annually maximum. Not nothing, but won't determine your financial trajectory. What actually matters are mega decisions. Housing location, vehicle choice, savings rate, investment allocation. These swing net worth by tens of thousands over time. So instead of agonizing over organic produce, you optimize housing costs, maximize income, and verify investment strategy works. This focus shift liberates mental bandwidth for decisions actually mattering. You quit sweating insignificant stuff and think strategically about wealth construction. Now, examine what happens to your career post $20,000. This amount transforms your work relationship, not just money relationship. Paycheck to paycheck means trapped in current employment. Terrible boss, toxic colleagues, soul-crushing work. Doesn't matter. You need that next check for survival. This creates devastating negotiation weakness. Can't request raises fearing termination. Can't refuse unreasonable demands needing the role more than they need you. Can't explore alternatives because interview time feels impossibly risky. You're imprisoned and everyone senses it. $20,000 flips this completely. You possess walking away money. Could quit immediately and survive months finding better options. Doesn't mean act recklessly or burn relationships. Means negotiating from strength, not desperation. This mental shift affects every career approach element. You request deserved raises because worst case is no and you'll survive regardless. You challenge unreasonable demands unafraid of fallout. You investigate new opportunities able to accept some risk. Here's the wild part. Often you never deploy walking away money. Simply having it changes your work presence entirely. You project more confidence, more assertiveness, more willingness tackling challenging projects. When you show up differently, people notice. Suddenly better assignments appear. More recognition flows. Yes, more money follows. It's secret superpower you hope never using. But knowing it exists transforms how you operate. Watch this play out practically. Meet Rich Richard and Poor Peter. Both earn $60,000 annually, both 28 years old. Poor Peter lives check to check with maybe $800 in checking. Rich Richard disciplined himself to $20,000 saved. Their lives diverge dramatically. Poor Peter's car needs $1,200 repair, triggers cascade of problems, credit card at 18% interest, no alternative exists. Weeks of stress figuring minimum payments without missing other bills. Rich Richard, same $1,200 repair. Annoyed, but pays cash from emergency fund, zero interest charges, zero stress, simply replenishes $1,200 over coming months from regular savings. 6 months later, company announces layoffs. Poor Peter panics instantly. No buffer exists. Grabs first offer despite lateral move and no raise. Can't afford unemployment even briefly. Rich Richard, concerned but not terrified. No 6 months expenses saved. Can strategize. Negotiates better severance unafraid. Takes time finding role actually advancing career. Lands $70,000 role. 2 years forward. Poor Peter still makes $60,000. Still living check to check, never building buffer. Richard makes $70,000 and $20,000 grew to $35,000 through compound interest and contributions. gap widens perpetually, not because Rich Richard is smarter or harder working, but because crossing 20,000 threshold completely changed the game rules. Most people sabotage themselves here. Hit 20,000, feel psychological shift, immediately wasted on stupid purchases. Decide they deserve new car after such discipline. Book expensive vacation as earned reward. Use it down payment on unaffordable house. Stop. That 20,000 is not behavior reward. It's your entire financial futures foundation, the seed growing into generational wealth if you're patient, letting it compound. Average person spends more on car's lifetime than achieving complete financial independence requires. Car payments, insurance, maintenance, gas. Most people drop $600 to $800 monthly on transportation. Over 40 years, that's $400,000 just moving point A to point B. Meanwhile, complaining can't afford retirement savings. New car loses 20% value leaving the lot. You're not spending money, you're actively destroying wealth. Compare investing identical amount in diversified portfolio. Instead of money evaporating, you watch it multiply. Cars are emotional purchases. You want reliable, attractive success signaling. Nothing wrong with that if you understand trade-offs. That car payment might feel wealthy, but actually keeps you poor. Having 20,000 saved transforms major purchase perspective. Instead of, can I afford monthly payment? You think, what's true opportunity cost here? That 30,000 car isn't just 30,000, it's 30,000 that could become 200,000 in investments over 20 years. Suddenly, reliable used car stops feeling like sacrifice. Feels like strategic choice funding future freedom. Person driving flashy new car probably stresses about money. Person driving older Honda quietly builds wealth, sleeping better nightly. This mindset extends to every major financial choice. Housing, education, vacations, hobbies. Everything filters through opportunity cost lens, not obsessively sucking joy from life, but strategically ensuring intentional choices about money destination. Once thinking this way, you realize you don't actually want half the stuff you thought you wanted. That bigger apartment. Extra space seems nice, but worth delaying financial independence 5 years. That expensive hobby, fun but probably cheaper ways, achieving same satisfaction. This isn't becoming penny-pinching miser, never enjoying anything. This is becoming intentional with money instead of letting it vanish on things not actually mattering. With clear financial goals and compound interest understanding, distinguishing what you want from what you really want becomes simpler. 20,000 won't make you rich overnight, but fundamentally changes how you think about money and opportunity. Difference between surviving and thriving, between reacting to life and designing it. Start building that foundation today because your future self counts on decisions you make right now. Good luck.